Okay, welcome back. So, in this segment, I want to get some more insight from you about theory, and I want to start with biology and evolution. Now, in our textbook, we have a big chapter on biological explanations and evolutionary perspectives on understanding criminal behavior. Well, I shouldn't say a big chapter, but we have one whole chapter devoted to those paradigms. I'm just very curious to hear what you say, given that, you know, your theory, and I quote, the title of your theory is a general personality and cognitive social learning theory of criminal conduct. So what about evolution and biology? Let's go.
So you're asking, where does the biology come in?
Yeah.
Well, the biology comes in under the general personality, all right? People have certain predispositions in the way they feel and the way they act.
Okay.
And that, to some extent, is genetically determined and biologically determined.
Okay.
So even in the Psychology of Criminal Conduct textbook, I have a chapter called Antisocial Personality Pattern, and most of that chapter deals with genetics, biology, and evolution.
Okay.
Right? So we certainly do not discount the importance of it. You can't, because the data is there, the evidence is there. You can't ignore it. There are so many studies on this. So part of the question becomes, all right, how do these biological genetic factors express themselves in a criminal way? What is required? And you know, there are a number of things going on, you know, neurological difficulties, impairment, a temperament that long ago was described as difficult, you know, and a difficult temperament is, and they're able to measure these temperaments in infants within the first week of life, right? The difficult temperament cries easily, responds poorly to any kind of stimulation. So you can think about this kind of a person growing up. You know, it's biologically based. There may be some genetic predisposition. And you start getting older, you react poorly to things, you start having more hostile, angry types of feelings, you go off the deep end like that, you lose your temper left, right, and center. However, the importance of biology is moderated by the environment. In fact, when you look at the biological studies, the genetic studies, I think they tell you more about environmental influences than the biological side. So even when Thomas and Chess talked about the difficult temperament, so to speak, they also said that if you have parents that are calm, consistent in their disciplining, nurturing, you can offset those biological kind of predispositions and grow up relatively all right.
The deck might be stacked against you, though, because if you inherit these difficult, where do you get these difficult temperaments from?
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you have parents who, you know, the mother was abusing drugs while pregnant, is also an impulsive type of temperament, and the father is like that, and you bring this child who is struggling to cope with the environment, and they're in an environment that is not conducive to positive growth.
Right.
You have the perfect storm.
Right.
And certainly there are many studies, the so-called intergenerational studies, looking at grandparents, parents, and the children, and the difficulty that gets carried on. And it's not all just genetics and heredity, but it's also the kind of environments. Because if you have a lengthy criminal career and you've been in all kinds of trouble and you have offspring that you raise, you know, you're going to teach them only what you know.
Right. So biology might predispose someone in such that, you know, escalate their potential risk on something.
Yeah.
But really it's the environment. The environment either protects, insulates, or exacerbates the predisposing risk.
Yes.
Okay.
Biology does not determine, it predisposes.
Okay.
And
right.
the environment is, you know, those rewards and punishments that happen on the person. So you can have, let's say, if you're neurologically impaired,
okay,
reinforcements, rewards, or punishments will have a different effect on that person than somebody who has an IQ of 120 and no problems.
So that really gets to the core of a psychology of criminal conduct. It's about explaining individual differences.
Yes.
Right, and that's where those individual variations come from.
Yeah.
Well, part of them anyways.
Part of it, yeah.
Okay, oh, that was great.